start all over.
We were waiting to be released from the hospital. Every day they would say, well, Travis, tomorrow, as soon as this clears up, tomorrow you can go home. Then the doctors come in, they said they had a meeting, and I can't go home because I've got a problem. And I have to go, they're going to put a peg tube in. It's the only chance I have. And when they told me they were going to put a peg tube in, I thought, well, this is the end. I want to go to sleep, and I don't want to wake up. I mean, that's how it really felt bad. So I figured, oh, that's the end. And then I woke up, and the diagnosis was no food, nothing. All I can have is, I can't have anything for at all. Then they turned around and said, well, you can have a couple of ice chips once a day to get the wet in your throat, but it has to be pure ice. You can't brush your teeth. You got to brush your teeth and scour them out. And then from there on, it is nothing but water, because that's the only thing that will purify, the only thing your system can handle. Anything else, it won't work. So that's the way it went. Then they put in the peg tube and start feeding me through the peg tube. Well, when you sit there and get up in the morning and go to bed at night and watch it at noon, everybody's bringing, bringing me a menu for what are you going to have for tomorrow or tonight. And then they said, well, you can't have nothing. And that's the way it went, and it just kept on. And then I had a speech problem. I had to go to therapy. And to help me out in the therapy, I had a couple of real good therapists. And one of them, they used to put a wire around my neck. And then most of the people doesn't want it. And it gives you an electrical shock. It's like hanging onto an electric fence. It just shakes the hell right out of you. And you got to leave it on there as long as you can. And I said, well, how long is the long as you can? She said, can you leave it on 15 minutes? I said, I'll leave it on 20 minutes if that's what you want. She said, well, 20 is the maximum. And we'll put it on a day. So every single day, I had a wire around my neck for 20 minutes, at least one time. Then I had a speaking problem. She gave me a list of stuff to do, and it was like, me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. I had to go through ba, ve, vu, all the stuff. Then that was a couple of days. Then you got to stick out your tongue about 1/4 of an inch, put your teeth down on your tongue, and swallow. And if you don't think that is tough, I'll tell you that. And you got to keep doing that. And I kept on, I kept on, I kept on. I almost bit my tongue off, but I would do it every day. Then they put me on something else along with this. These are everyday occurrences. Is speech. Big green, go, 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 and it was all. And everything had to be two syllables, like go now, and it was going so loud that they had people would go by me in the Brethren home, and they'd go and close the door. First they thought I was having a fight with somebody, and they look in, and I'm the only one in there. Right after the therapist is gone. And I kept on, I did everything, every single thing they did. They tell me to do, you do this other practice, I did it. How long am I going to be on this? Nobody knows. The way the progress is very, very, very slow. Some people don't make it at all, some especially with kids. Some kids never grow out of it. They stay in it all their life. And I thought, holy mackerel, I don't live with a guy 80 years old, don't need that. So I just kept on, I kept on, I kept on. And finally one day, now this is 3.5 months with no food. I was watching, they'd fill a machine, put a bunch of goop in the machine. It smelled like hell. When you burped, it depends what it was. I mean, if you could give you fish, give you stuff you didn't like, but when you burped, you didn't like it again. You still, and that's all you would do is burp. You didn't even get to drink anything or eat anything. You burped it, and it just kept on. And after 3.5 months, of this. Finally, I started going on food. And one of the nurses there, I don't know if I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but one of the nurses there was the one that said, I think you're eating, you're taking more food in the machine, and I think probably go to the rest. I'll talk to the doctor. So they went to the doctor. The doctor said, well, you can try it. And there was a bunch of different things I had to do different, because the only thing I could do, they have it in like 4 grades. A solid is all I could have. A liquid, nothing. Anything. And finally I got it down to where it was really going good, where I could get what they call a smoothie or whatever it was down in the thing where they crush all the ice and make you a drink. And you got to eat it with a spoon. And then that gives you a brain headache. But that was worth it for not having any food or nothing before to be able to taste anything. And that's the way I just get 3.5 months, and then one of the therapists asked, "Can I do the test today on you?" And I said yes. But before I'll go back a little bit. I went down and had the test a couple of weeks before that, and I failed it. I didn't make it. I didn't make all of them. I failed. I failed with number 1 and number 2. And there's really 4 or 5, but 4 basic ones. I passed the last 2, but failed the first 2. And I had to keep on going and keep on going. And then finally, when I finally could, she says, "I think you're ready. I go over to the hospital, Wayne Hospital, and have it tested." So I went over there. And she was the one that ran the test, and there were about 5 different people watching. You were hooked up like you're hooked to an electric chair or something like that. And if you want to make one move, you turn your head sideways, you get a shock and your head falls off. But anyway, and all of a sudden I passed everything, and she took off out of that room, and she just left me in the chair. And she took off, and she was across the street. She didn't get in the car. She ran down from the hospital to the Brethren home to tell the people I passed. And that was 3.5 months. And they said that I'm more of an exceptional. It doesn't usually it takes a lot longer than 3.5 months, or else you want to put the effort that I put in.
Okay, we're going to stop that.